Oh, do that. All right. Nice to meet you, bro.
What's good, YouTube? It's Standing Man, aka 12 Gauge 365, and I'm back at y'all with another quick video. Now, look, the past 48 hours have not been the best for YouTuber slash boxer Deen the Great. Now, if y'all don't know, yesterday Deen the Great was on a stream with Rampage Jackson and Larry Wills, and Larry Wills was accompanied by his wife. And if y'all don't know, Deen the Great ends up getting, I don't know if he just can't handle his liquor or what, but he ends up getting really pushy and being really flirty with, just being real flirtatious with Larry Wills' wife. And Larry Wills obviously doesn't like that. Rampage Jackson was kind of egging it on, and Larry Wills just, in the heat of the moment, he gets, he gets mad enough to actually put hands on Deen the Great, and he smacks him in the face. Now, obviously, Deen the Great doesn't like this, and that turns into a whole big ordeal. I don't know, somewhere between there and now the situation has kind of fizzled out, and Deen the Great was actually on another stream with Rampage Jackson. Now this time Rampage's manager, his name is Tiki Golson. I want to make sure I say his last name right. If y'all don't remember him, y'all should remember him from the UFC. He did have a brief stint in the UFC. He went 0-3. I believe he went 0-2 or 0-3 in the UFC. He didn't have the best record in the UFC or whatnot, and he has a total overall record of 10 wins and 8 losses. But even though he may have not had the greatest MMA record, but he did end up still being close to the UFC and working with a lot of fighters in the UFC, and it manages to become, Rampage. He manages to have Rampage Jackson as one of his clients, so he is Rampage's manager. Now his name is Tiki Golson, but we knew him as just Tiki. They just announced him as Tiki when he was doing his fights in the UFC. But he has been around the game for a long time. Obviously, his most infamous fight is him being knocked out by Robbie Lawler. Big right hand, big right hand. That, but he was, like I said, he did get there. A lot of people don't make it to the UFC, so let's give him that respect to say he did make it there. And obviously, he still manages some fighters, and he still does a lot of good business with the UFC. Now, obviously, Deen the Great walks up to him, and they have this kind of weird kind of interaction. Tiki Golson, if you look at the guy, the guy's bald-headed, straight biker goatee, the guy looks like he means business. He didn't really have too many words to say for Deen the Great. And obviously with Deen the Great being, I just think he may have an alcohol problem. I don't want to say he has an alcohol problem, but obviously he's a kid, he's still young. And look, when you're young and you're a kid and you got alcohol in the mix, obviously good decisions are not really made all of the time. So we have Deen the Great pressing Tiki and just basically trying to give him this whole, oh yeah, you know who I am type of spill and type of bit. And Tiki is not having none of it. I don't know if Deen the Great was just kind of joking with him at first. He looks like he may have been joking with him, but the problem is it's like I said in yesterday's video, when you're streaming and when you're a streamer and you're playing these pranks and you got your camera out and you have your camera crew and stuff, you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you have to be aware of the people that you are involving in your stream or in your pranks or in your whatever you're doing at the moment, because you have the camera out and you're putting everybody on camera. So for one, not everybody wants to be a part of your stream. Not everybody wants to be on camera. And two, not everybody wants you to walk up to him and bring more attention to them. Like Tiki just kind of looked like, he has his drink in his hand and he's just, he's just kicked back and he's chilling. And, he don't want people in his face. Like I said, man, you're young and Tiki's, he's of the older generation. So, like I said, man, there's a lot of energies that don't mix well, especially when you bring alcohol into the situation. So, like I said, Tiki just looked like he just didn't want to be bothered, and Deen the Great keeps pressing him. And like I said, Tiki just looks like he's not really a man of a lot of words. I don't know him personally. I haven't heard a lot of people say any negative or positive things about him. I just don't really hear about him ever since he was left the UFC. But like I said, if I'm putting my own thoughts and focus into it, like if you're a manager and you're dealing with a lot of fighters and stuff like that, you really don't have a lot of time to just chit chat and just play these kind of weird games that some of these young kids like to play. So like I said, Tiki wasn't having none of it. He hits. Now, when I first saw the fight, I thought Tiki caught him with a clean, crisp right hand, but it was actually the elbow. He caught Deen the Great with an elbow. And look, if you know anything about fighting, getting caught with an elbow is a lot worse than getting caught with the fist, because there's a lot less joints to travel through. So it's just more power coming from the elbow as it is coming through the fist. Like when you're punching with the fist, obviously you have your shoulders, you have your elbow, you have your wrist, and you have your fingers. You have all of these joints that your force has to travel to. When you shorten up the distance, the force is even greater. So catching him up close with an elbow like that just, I mean, I don't know, man. Between getting smacked by a 6'5", 300-pound bodybuilder and getting clipped with a clean, straight elbow up close, by a former UFC fighter. I mean, somebody got to send this kid the concussion protocol or something. Like, this kid needs to, he needs a hard reset, man. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's one of those things, man. Like, just don't play in people's faces, man. Like, you just can't do that. And you would have thought he would have learned that from yesterday, but I mean, I don't know, man. A hard head make a soft ass, I guess, man. But like I said, man, stop playing in people's faces, man. Just, if you're going to do your little stream or whatnot, man, just don't involve everybody in your stream, because everybody doesn't want to be in your stream. And not everybody's going to want to play those weird little games, man. Like, you were a kid, bro. This is a grown ass man you playing around with. Yeah, I mean, I know you hang out with Rampage Jackson, but Rampage is a different kind of energy. He's a big ass kid within himself. Not everybody is gonna be like that. And so if I'm Rampage, I'm looking at it from a situation of like, maybe I need to stop bringing this kid around my areas and around my, not let me stop bringing this kid around, my kind of, coalition of people, because when you do that and you mix in these kind of energies and you kind of messing up the vibe and stuff, you get situations like that. I mean, obviously, Deen the Great retaliated a lot better than he did from the Larry Wills situation. I don't know if he thought that Tiki was even less of a threat than Larry Wills is, but the guy's a former fighter. I mean, the guy's had almost 20 professional fights. He's more of a threat than Larry Wills is. But Deen the Great actually gets up and he actually tries to retaliate. He throws a couple of punches and it gets broken up. But like I said, it just all boils down to, you have to know how you are when you're around liquor. You got to know how you are when you're around women, and you got to know how you are when you're around just people in general. And especially if you're a YouTuber and you're a streamer and you make money off YouTube, there's probably a bit of arrogance that comes along with that. But like I said, you just have to be aware of your surroundings, because not everybody's going to play that kind of game you want to play. So hopefully this is a lesson for Deen the Great. Like I said, getting smacked twice back to back like that, man, send this kid into concussion protocol, put him in a soft padded room for a little while and let him get a hard reset and just reflect on the past 48 hours. Because if you're in this kind of situation and you're getting attacked like this back to back, then you everybody else might not be the problem. You might have to start looking inward and doing a little bit of soul searching, bro, and put yourself in better situations, man, because this is just not it, bro. Like, you're a boxer and you just took 2 straight L's back to back. One was legit because he was an actual fighter, but you got smacked by the Jolly Green Giant with Larry Wills. So it's like, bro, like you kind of got to chill for a little bit, man. So, but either way, man, that's my quick big for the day, man. We are still cranking out more videos, man. So stay tuned for what's coming up next. We got a lot of UFC fights coming up here in the next month, so we're going to do a lot of reviews on that. So just stay tuned and bear with me. And as I always want to say, stay humble, stay blessed, stay safe, and always stay dangerous. And we will see y'all on the next video, man. Holla at y'all.